Hey ladies and gents, RF here with another Astronarch video. In this video, what we're going to be looking at is some advanced tips. Tips that are designed to help players climb corruption. A little bit of helping you just make those steps, especially if you've been struggling with, say, corruption 10, corruption 15, or corruption 20 even. That's the hope for this video. The first quick tip for today is know your win condition. You need to know when your comp is the strongest. You also need to know what items are going to make you the best comp possible. Basically, every time you set up your comp, you need to think, hey, how am I actually going to win this run? What is going to make me go from being able to just beat Act 1, Act 2, but to be able to steamroll Act 3 and then crush the final two fights? This might be items that you need to get. This might be making sure you only get a certain amount of ability orbs. It's always, always, always important to know that before you get going, because if you're sitting there just thinking, well, I need a couple items, or I need to make sure I take one or two elite fights, you're not going to get to the point where you're going to be able to actually win these runs unless you think, I need to get my one carry to the point where they can nuke everything, or I can get my one tank to be strong enough to be able to take focus fire for as long as possible. Second tip is team comp necessities. Now, what I have on the screen here is just a basic idea of a team comp. Most team comps are going to run something where you have a tank, an off tank, a main DPS, and a healer. Now, I know this doesn't apply for every team comp, but the ones that succeed the most are very basic, are going to focus around having a tank, an off tank, because you can't have one unit tanking all the damage. You're going to run into way too many issues if you have one person taking damage the whole time. Even go look at my previous video. I had a Juggernaut who I thought was unkillable tanking main damage the whole time, and we got wiped 2 or 3 times in Act 3. So you need to have a tank and an off tank of some sort. Or if you're playing some crazy comp where you have a whole bunch of split out damage where people can take a bunch of damage themselves, that works. You need a main DPS unit. You need something that's going to be able to put damage out fast and furious. I'm not talking about the movies here. You need to make sure that you have something that can actually nuke through things, because the first act you can kind of make it through if you have enough healing, enough tankiness, but by the time you're looking to clear these runs, you need to nuke through everything, especially when you get to the fight where you got to fight our tentacly boys. They're going to nuke you down if you can't get through them fast enough. Last but not least, you need a healer, or something that's going to apply shields. This game spits out more damage than you think it does. Units are going to start hitting you way harder, so you need to be able to heal through them. If you don't have a unit or 2 units that are packing some sort of heal, it's not going to work out for you. So this is my basic team comp, or my team comp necessities, where I'm focusing on those 4 types of units. Now you can change out units, mix and match them a lot, but there's a few that fit into the tank and the off tank role really well, and there's some that fit into the main DPS and the healer units really well, and there's a lot that kind of get into the subdivisions, which is completely fine. The third tip for today is know your debuffs. Now, I didn't know this until probably 50 runs in, but these are the main debuffs in the game that you can apply as your team. Now, poison is a damage over time that lasts for the rest of combat. I didn't know this. I thought poison just wore off eventually. You can stack poison and it will continue for the whole fight. So if you're going for a long, drawn-out poison build, you can stack it. It can take a while, but it will stack. Burn and bleed work kind of the same. It's damage over time for 10 seconds, usually based on attack damage at the time of applying. And frost reduces attack speed by 2% and increases ability cost by 2 mana per stack, up to 10 stacks total. Which, if you think about it, if you're at 10 stacks of frost, 10% attack speed is pretty high. And this is something that can really save your runs and make sure things don't get casts off. So personally, I'm always trying to prioritize Frost, even if I don't have a Frostmancer in my comp, or a Frost Shell for that matter. Frost has saved me more than once. Our fourth tip here is upgrades make the world go round. Always, 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 always upgrade your core items. This ties into know your win condition a lot, our first tip. When it comes to getting to the shop and having money to upgrade, you're always going to focus on what is most important for you right now. If you have extra money, look at the long term. Start thinking, hey, put some of the money in as an investment. Say, hey, we're going to need these later down the line. You're going to want to upgrade things that do damage ASAP and make sure that they can keep you alive in the act you're in. Because if you start planning too far ahead and you can't make it to that next shop, what's the point of investing right now? So always aim to upgrade. Upgrades are basically doubling the effectiveness of an item because usually the base stats increase by basically doubling them. So you're just going to, instead of having one item, you're going to have 2 items now. It's worth it every time. Upgrades are the most important part of this game. Last but not least, balance risk and reward. You need to think of, hey, what events are actually going to benefit you? And is the negative effect even worth it? Big factors in this are, or examples of this are, if you're looking at the early blood ritual or any of the early events that are going to cause you to either bleed uncontrollably, have reduced healing or things like that in early fights, think, is it worth me losing one fight to gain an upgrade here, or to gain 2 upgraded items, or to gain a orb? It's always important to think, is this going to benefit me more than the 3 morale I'm going to lose, or the fight that I'm going to lose? It's very important to do this because there's a lot of times where you can min-max your run by saying, hey, let's take out, or let's do this one event because it will actually benefit me more than if I were to just take a random fight. So this is one that only comes with experience. But once you know your events and you know what is worth your time, what's going to make your team better, this is when you can truly start making runs go from things that could be lost, and you all of a sudden flip the switch and turn them into a gravy run, and you're walking to the bank all day. So ladies and gents, this has been Astronarch Advanced Tips. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, and I will hopefully be back into a regular posting schedule. I was a little sloppy last couple weeks, but I'll be getting back in there. Thanks, everyone. And if you got any feedback or anything you want to see from me, let me know. Appreciate it, guys. Have a good one. Stay safe.